it seems formative, as you've shown data from 1920 to forward, that we've constantly gone over evolutions. And from food safety, we worried about coal tar products in our mascara up to salmonella and other products. How are we going to feed the growing population with the agricultural system that we currently have, and or what do we need to do to improve it?
I think that's a great question that I feel like a little grain of sand on the beach. I may have a little bit of the answer to that. I've studied this for 50 years. I've been in agriculture all my life. And I don't think there is a quick, simple, and easy answer. What I can say is it does one well to read a lot about risk perception and risk communication. That the more you do that and the more you help people do that, the more they move from an elephant reaction to risks to a much more nuanced and rational reaction. We have a tendency, we all have it, it's human, it's part of our nature, to greatly overemphasize risks. We also have, especially new risks, and to remember risks and forget successes. You all remember the drugs that have failed, but you never think about the 99% of pharmaceuticals that save lives every day and relieve pain every day. Why should you? They work. I mean, it's just how we're wired. And so I think we need to get people thinking more along those lines and understanding that there are hazards associated with any change that we make. And we will never win 100% of the time. I talk about food as being comparatively safe, or as safe as. This new food product is as safe as that food product. I never told you it was 100% safe. There will be accidents. There will be unexpected things. So your choice comes down to this. We want food to be safer, we want production to be more sustainable, and we're going to need to make more of it for more people. And that means there are going to be changes. And those changes will present hazards. And every now and then one of them will turn out to have been really unfortunate, and we'll have to stop it and remediate it and do something else. Probably not the end of the world, but there will be people hurt. And if we can develop that mindset that we have no choice but to make change, and that change can actually make it better rather than worse. Yes, it will make it worse sometimes. A lot of the resistance to risk comes from a very natural conservative attitude that, look, things are working pretty well right now. They're acceptable to me. I like my food the way it is. Don't change it, because I know, and it's true, that there are risks associated with those changes that you make, and I don't choose to accept those risks. So we need to have that conversation, I guess, is basically it. There is an alternative, and I know you didn't ask this question, but I've been thinking about it a lot over the last several weeks. There is a conversation that we globally are apparently incapable of having. It actually flies against the beliefs of at least one major religion, and that is that there may be too many people in the world. One of the ways to take the pressure off resources is to have less people. And that is just so politically incorrect. The United Nations actually debated that. And they had committees that looked at it, and they decided it was not an issue that they were willing to undertake, and that the best solution is to bring up the economic status of people all over the world and the educational status, because the numbers clearly show that when people move into middle income and have good educations, they have less children, and that will bring the trajectory to flat in terms of world population growth. But a world of 10 billion people is going to put strains on the resources of the world. And I just kind of throw out there, I'm not about to start the conversation, but why don't we ever talk about how many 10 billion people use as opposed to how many a billion would use? And that's about as bad as going out and killing someone, to bring that subject up. But just think about it. It's like the elephant that's staring us in the face. We keep talking about how bad 10 billion people is. What's the answer? Please don't misrepresent the spirit in which that's said. I want people to think outside the box and think about where some of our problems are coming from.